5 creative corner routines that actually score. Few things before we dive into the routines. First, the delivery is more than half of the results you get. So make sure you give enough reps to players who are delivering the cross. Second thing, you actually need to train set pieces in training because they require coordination, communication, timing, and players need reps so they can execute on matches. We are not diving into training. Maybe in the future videos I will only explain the 5 routines and the ideas behind them. Okay, first one, 2 bombs man to man. What we do here is we set 2 bombs of 4 players. 1 bomb in the middle, just outside the penalty box, and 1 bomb further away on the edge of penalty box. This setup forces the opponent to choose the players they mark, and you can adjust your movements based on what the opponent does. So let's say the opponent has 2 good defenders in set pieces, and they put 1 to mark one of these 4 players and one of these players, like this. Okay. These are their strong defending players. So based on this, you can use blocks, you can use screens, or you can switch the players who are making the runs near the goal. Or if they bring both of their strong players here, you can change which players go for the ball. So let's say first one, they take 1-1. Of course there are other players too, but for the sake of the example. Now let's say these 2 players are creating blocks and screens for these 2 players to run the goal. And they also stay for the second balls. And all these 4 players, let's say running near post, far post, and 2 in the middle. That's one variation. But if the opponent is putting both of their strong players here, or it doesn't matter. So let's say these 2 players are marking your center backs. Let's say these are your center backs. And if you see the opponent is trying to mark them, you can switch. Okay, then the center backs can even stay here, and these 2 players make the runs, and all of these 4 players go for the ball, and you lure the best defending players away from the goal. So multiple ways to adjust your runs, your pattern based on what the opponent does. Next routine, 5 stack center. Here, let's remove these players. Here you can have 1 player in front of the goalkeeper, and you have 5 players around the penalty area. So you have 5 players creating a stack outside the penalty area. Then maybe you have players for the second ball. The idea here is again work depending on how the opponent is marking you. Let's say and as in every corner, of course, opponents have players playing an area, but for the sake of the example, we're just using the ones that mark the players. So depending on how the opponent is marking you, let's say these 3 players are your best headers and they bring their best markers like this. Then based on which side they are, you can adjust your movements. And if you keep the stack tight, so the opponents can't get to other side, you can use that for your advantage. So let's say these 2 players are marking these 2 players. So if they are this side, maybe number 9 can create a block, and both of these players go far post, and if this player is marking this one, this can go near post. So what will happen is that this formation creates screens and blocks for the opponent, and also when the opponent gets stuck in the block, they also block their own players. Powerful routine. Next routine, 4-man box and a bomb. Here we again create problems and decisions for opposing team, but slightly different way. Let's say we have 4-man box, so 4 players inside the posts and inside the 5-meter area. And again, 4-man bomb outside the box. And again, you can mix your best attacking set piece players. Sometimes they can be here, sometimes they can be one of these 4, and based on how the opponent is defending, you can adjust the execution. But the main idea is that these 4 players start closer to goal, but move away from the goal. That movement makes it hard to defend, because let's just use 1 player as an example, because now the defenders usually stay between the goal and the player. So if the player is moving away from the goal and the delivery is good, it's really difficult to get in front of the striker and head the ball. So what happens when you have 4 players like this, and if the defenders are between the players and the goal, and we create similar movement away from the goal, most likely it will be something like this, and all the defenders are between our players and the goal. So if the delivery is good, there's a high chance that one of these 4 players can get a small touch on the ball, and you at least create a chaos inside the 5-meter area. Plus 2 of these 4 players, again depending on how the opponent is defending, 2 of them blocking, screening and staying for the second balls, and 2 of them creating runs and attacking the ball. Fourth routine, picket fence. Here we got multiple options what we can do, but the basic idea is that we put 2 players something like this, so there's an opportunity to play short. And then we create 2 groups, a group of 3 and a group of 2. What we try to do here is that we're using block and screens to get 2 players free. So these 3 players work together and these 2 players work together. And again, you can deliver straight to goal, or you can use a short version to create miscommunication for the opposing team. But the main idea is that, let's say these 2 players are creating a screen for this one. So it might be something like this, and the ball is coming to near post, and number 8 is blocking and creating a screen for number 6, who can roll the back post, and we deliver normally. Or you can use short version. What will often happen is when you play short, you can use this player too, the opponent will push up, maybe you play all the way here, and the opponent is pushing up. And you use the same groups to create the blocks, and when the ball comes here, maybe you deliver a back post, and you try to get those 2 players free. And again, you can change the patterns based on how the opponent is defending. Last one, 5-pack, 2 wide, short corner. Now we create a pack of 5, the end of the penalty box, then 1 player in front of the goal, and 2 players second balls, and 1 player giving opportunity to play short. Again, this setup forces the opponent to make decisions. Do we put 1 player to mark the one who is in front of the goalkeeper? Do we put 1 or 2 players if the opponent is playing short pass? How many players do we put close here? There's 5 players. There's a high risk that one of our markers gets blocked or screened. Do they play short or do they play direct ball? And again, based on what the opponent does, you can adjust your execution. If you like routines like this and want to build brave, fast and competitive players, check the link in the description and join the Football Coaching Hub. Watch this video next because YouTube thinks you like it, and we will see you in the next one.